And this is Lubomir Olach from Qorus. I'm actually responsible for the global member relations, also part of the Qorus team, which started more than 50 years ago, first of all as AFMA, and later on in 2021, we got rebranded to Qorus. Qorus is an association that gathers members across the globe. The main mission is simply to make a neutral platform like ABAs and gather the members to simply share the best practice and knowledge about all different areas, but primarily we focus on retail financial services. That means that with no further ado, we'd like to jump into the presentation and think of the dream you had the last time, and think of how this actually has impacted your life in these coming years. And before that, we'll go through some interesting numbers, why this awards initiative actually is doing quite well. Over the a couple of years, we already get more and more submissions. And this is actually, the numbers we got at the celebration of 10th anniversary. Why I'm actually sharing it, this is an initiative since 2013, and now we have more than 8,000 submissions, and what you can see is doubled and tripled. But what is important, as I mentioned, we have, the times which are not that, let's say, rosy, and we experience a lot of different, let's say, not pleasant events across the globe. And that actually makes us worried about the future, about what's going to happen, about things which are not always happen. And many people have become exhausted. And that's why I ask you in the very beginning, if you still dreaming, because if you don't dream, obviously you're just worried about all what's going on, and we as a customers then think of, let's say, about low signals, then higher up the hierarchy of Maslow pyramid, and that's something which is going on, and where the banking sector probably can take the opportunity to think of how to fulfill the dreams of their customers. There is a nice quote from Shakespeare: "We are such stuff as dreams are made on." So what I always say, if you don't dream, you don't have vision. If you don't have vision, you don't know what's your direction. And that's something what we consider important, and banks should think of how in this special era of such a polarization in the world can change. So, and we were thinking of how we can do it. There are different ways how we can do if you are not in a good mood, or if it's not going that well. And this is actually through our favorite songs. So what we prepared is make it more, I would say, sexier, more popular, much more, thinking of something new. And we were thinking, okay, there's something which is there, and that's, how we can rethink ourselves in a business of dreams and how we can do it. So let's play the song, and let's play several hits which you may imagine are so popular or have been popular. So from that point of view, I would start with the first one. Everyone knows Coldplay and the hit Humankind. Why I'm talking about this is because simply everybody's dreaming about important things, and banks could be the one who can help customers feel part of the dream. And a Humankind hit is exactly including all the people with their dreams. And with all of that, what I'm saying, it doesn't mean only bringing the dreams come true, but also something which includes everybody. So every bank can think of how they can include different segments, different people, different communities inside their value proposition. What we're going to do, we always bring a non-financial example just for you for inspiration. Why we do it every time when we present this is because most of the inspiration comes from outside the banking. And having said that, it's quite important that with that we really observe what's going on and see how these non-financial players can inspire us as well. Because unfortunately, when you look at the top brands, the most valuable brands, these are not the banks, but tech companies, fashion companies, and that's something is always good to follow. So let's move on to the first three banks and examples. Examples coming from Europe, from Italy, from Denmark, and from UK. EasyBank is a spin-off bank from brand from Intesa Sanpaolo, Italy. EasyBank was a good example how bank wanted to catch up with all the neobanks around, especially in Europe is a big brand of Revolut or N26 or Monzo, and simply to be on the tips and attract the savvy young generation, which likes having all this fancy stuff, even having, as it's written, a name on your card. And you can just have a name on your card or anything you would like to have as additional logo or something else. It was really quite successful. They onboarded many different new customers, and were able to also to start transforming and migrating slowly, surely to the new technology, and that's cloud banking. Second point is more about inclusion. And we as bankers, many times we have a lot of biases when it comes to employing new employees within our institutions. So Danske Bank made a special partnership program with startups who actually better screen all the job posts. They come out and are available for potential candidates. And they just think of, so how we can attract especially those minorities, those probably who wouldn't consider job in banking as the primary one. We know that banking is not anymore that popular among young generation, and we need to attract the young generation in terms of potential new talent, especially with the new technology like AI or big data or some others. The third one I like very much because it's about community banking. And I believe that the community banking is some of the key trends we can say are coming up. There are more banks who actually observe this, and Bloom Money from UK, it's one of the examples. It's always, everybody might have a dream going abroad for studies or going for travel and enjoy your life, or just to save for the local community to support local charities. Bloom Money actually enables that and gives you the room simply to save and set up circles, community circles, where you have common saving goals and objectives to put your money. And it's not about that, it also gives you the tips how you as a customer can first of all enjoy the community life, motivate more of your different friends to contribute, and think of how to do it. So, and it's obviously it's easier when you have friends to save together, than you do it on your own. And this is not the only case. I mean, there are some other startups like Rise Up and everything where, you know, the financial literacy is on the top in their mind, and they think of, okay, how we can improve the financial health of their customers. So this is the first song we would think of when it comes to the inclusion, the community banking, and that what we feel that is something which is going on. Probably we might say about the neobanks that some of them were more successful, some of them less. However, for incumbent banks, this could be one of the ways how they can catch up with the latest innovative ideas, either from outside those players who already thinking of penetrating into the banking sector, and there are already some stuff like Apple with their partnerships with banks, or some others. Moving on, everybody has a dream, obviously doesn't want to become a bulwark of broken dreams, or you know, become a something which has not come through. And that's why I think banks need to show their customers that they can fulfill their dream. An example from the movie industry, which I like very much, and you know, this one is one of the most popular and iconic in the last century, and that's The Godfather. And you can see Marlon Brando and the director Coppola, and he was what probably most of the people don't know, when he wanted to shoot the movie, one of the key characters, obviously the main character of the son of the Godfather, and he wanted to cast Al Pacino, but the producers didn't want him to bring Al Pacino there. But he insisted so many times that actually it had happened, and now we can enjoy one of these iconic mafia movies from America. So again, an example from non-financial industry. Sephora stands. We know the brand, but what they did, they set up an accelerated program, and the program simply works for ladies to set up their own business, which obviously sticks into the beauty industry or fashion industry, and gives a mentoring and coaching program to develop the talents, young talents, especially in the segment of women who are obviously not that brave to run a own business. Examples from the other banks would like to show you is coming now from different continents, because the one is from Belgium, second from Morocco, and the third from the US. BNP Paribas Fortis in Belgium came up with an really, I would say, a very interesting idea. You know, the housing problem is almost everywhere, and young generation obviously not always have enough own funding to buy a property. So they set up something which is called Happy Nest. What is interesting, they wanted to bring something which is not usual, and this is a financial leasing or real estate leasing. What it means, in this case, you can rent a house, and after a certain time, when you can afford it, you can get it and you can buy it for a discount. So it's kind of rent to own formula and kind of financial leasing, which at the time where they were thinking about it, didn't exist in the market, even was not legally possible. So they collaborated with the lawmakers and made such a product which I believe is very interesting in two terms. One, accessibility to housing, but the second, still, because ESG is one of the key, especially in the construction industry, how we can make green and sustainable buildings. And this is what they always look at, because they only support those buildings which are meeting this criteria. What that means also, they were not doing it themselves, but in a partnership with a construction company and real estate company, where this provides them all the expertise how to actually do this product and offering. Second is probably more common among us, because we have many accelerators and incubators. What Attijariwafa made in Morocco is they set up this for the whole African continent, and brought all the potential fintechs to partner with them. It's not just for Moroccans, as I mentioned, but all the Africans can bring these innovative ideas, and they support with the funding and mentorship and everything. The third one, called Charlie, is probably unusual. That's why we put it on this lineup of different case studies, because it's a fintech supported by a local bank, Sutton Bank in America. And this fintech mainly targets the people with the age 62 plus, which is the senior market. After, when you already get retired, you would like to enjoy your life with your family, with your children, with your grandchildren, but obviously you can bring something more. And the idea is, why not to pay earlier the social security payments, and a couple of days earlier, that if you can already enjoy your pension and dedicate it to important things if you need that. Very much connected to the segments, and this is probably the key message of this trend. Think of the segments. Think of different segments who might have different needs, like the youngsters, the seniors, those business entrepreneurs. If the latest technology actually enables us to bring some really good stuff in terms of tailor-making or bespoking offerings to those segments, which was not possible. Now, with all the technology, this is possible, and this is how we can bring and their dreams come true. Third song, very well. Don't stop me now. If you have a dream, you never want to be stopped, and you would like to pursue to the final end. And however, to make it happen, the customers need all the support. And again,
Lubo,
banks and financial institutions do that.
Lubo, can you please pull your camera up a little bit?
Yeah, is okay?
A little bit more, because I have you halfway.
Okay. Is it better?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. So 1992 Euro Cup happened something which doesn't happen every day. This is the Danish football team, national football team. In 1992, they didn't get qualified to the final championship, European Championship, but because of the Yugoslavian war, they were additionally qualified, and they were already on holidays and when they got this message. So they made this 10 days training and decided, okay, let's do it. And you wouldn't have believed that, but in the end, they won the finals. And that actually was something which has become a legend. But if you have people with one dream pursuing to the very top finals, it might happen. And with that, we can think of how we can do it for customers. Pearl by Davids, it's a one-stop shop for all wedding planning tools you can imagine. They started as, first of all, as an agency, but later on they thought of, okay, why not to do more? So they offer your own website where you can plan your wedding, all these important stuff, and has become, as I mentioned, one-stop shop. Similarly, the banking examples are kind of similar way. Alivist, a special wealth management platform for women, where they tailor-made exactly to this segment and give them opportunities to invest into different fund or portfolios, and kind of better understand how women think of investment, how to actually tailor-made to their needs. Riyadh Bank, it's the opposite, now focuses on the segments of the kids. Now Saudi Arabia, BNP Bank thought of, okay, how we can gamification, make the game more gamification and more fun when it comes to saving the money, learning about how the money works, and prepare a special token program with many features. And the last one, Magnify, using AI, and it's your AI assistant who helps you to invest your money. And what I like, bringing this technology to everyone and invest their money into interesting portfolios analyzed by AI. Next one is U2, and this one is more about all aspects which relates to everybody, and this is about ESG, because this is something very much supported globally by the United Nations, by local governments, how we can make our environment better than now. And the same implies in the financial sector, and how we as customers can benefit from such programs also, or products brought by banks, and make this ESG impact. Again, example, which you might know, might not know, these are the two athletes at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. If you haven't thought of this or haven't seen this, there's actually two guys, one from Italy, Gianmarco Tamberi, and Mutters Burshim, who actually made to the finals, and decided that because of this was the high jump activity, they decided that they will share the gold medal in the end of the day, and they share the same podium together. Again, sport could be a greatest storyteller, and can be really a inspirational, I would say, a storytelling, storyteller. When it comes to the business, Unstuck would like to support all those refugees in their markets. So what it does, help all these food chains to hire these refugees for different operational issues. But in the end, every food chain can say, okay, thanks to the collaboration, we supported all those who really need us, who come from different countries to find their new life. And the same we can see about the banks. KBC Belgium were thinking how to improve and be more inspirational for the customers when it comes to living and sustainable living. So again, they created an ecosystem of partnerships, different partners who help the customers to set up a smart solution, smart houses with all the sustainability tools, which in the end will give you leave you more sustainably, and something which helps you to better understand how you can make your energy safer, how you can do better your water management. All those supplies you can have the advice directly at the bank. Commonwealth Bank of Australia set up a kind of sustainability action tool, and gives and mentors their businesses about ESG, how they can bring the latest technology, how they can better understand, they can support their local and local environment, how they can decrease the CO2 emissions. Commonwealth Bank have really a lot of good stuff. It's not about only about entrepreneurs, but also about their customers who, for example, for the first time experience some live events, and especially how to take and think of what are the key benefits, welfare benefits they can get from the government. So they make a special mobile app, Benefits Finder. And if you are, for example, a mother who just gave the birth and understanding where and what she can be supported, they gave there this opportunity to go through the whole process much smoother and easier. And Banco BV has used the latest blockchain technology, thinking of how you can donate. You get kind of a token or an NTF tokenized, which you can simply donate to charities and make the whole process easier without any intermediaries in between. And the last one we're going to hear today, it's obviously something we cannot miss. And all the buzz which is going around AI, artificial intelligence, is there, and how this new technology can bring or come true the customers' dreams in the end. So again, an example which I will always like to give, something which was not possible, and the technology was only in the hands of big technology companies or governmental authorities. This is just from the movie Apollo 13, when only they have such a power. This is not anymore true. Everybody now has the latest technology available and can do miracles with that more. And here are some examples. Something which was not possible before, impossible diagnosis by ChatGPT could help to identify a lot of illnesses and better make the diagnosis obviously much faster. Be My Eyes, again, to better see impossible and improve the sight the way that it wouldn't be possible before. And hygiene, instant translation with lip sync. This is unbelievable. When you travel anywhere, you can break all the barriers of languages, just simple because of these application, and help especially those who are deaf, who cannot really can hear, to speak them all. So that's examples from the non-financial world, but obviously banks want to catch up and brought AI into different features in their products. Again, Intesa Sanpaolo, Italy, UK, NatWest or JP Morgan in the US, all of them brought something interesting. This is Intesa Sanpaolo introduced a virtual assistant called Alice, and Alice can communicate all through different messaging tools, different applications, and what is important, really brings omni-channel experience to every customer, and can advise on different interesting stuff. NatWest, again, the phenomenon of, I would say, financial well-being is so important, and many banks made really interesting business case out of it. NatWest helped millions of their customers to improve their current financial status, and mentor and set up a different mentorship programs because of that. They become their customers have become healthier financially, but also from the life point of view. And the last one is JP Morgan, which again is about investing with AI technology into different indices and become a kind of genius investor. All of that is something which wouldn't have been possible before, but is now, and we can probably conclude that you can now shape a different future, and why not also reimagine your childhood dreams. And I believe that we are in the era where most of these childhood dreams will come true, and something which was not possible before will become real in the coming years. So any questions? I open up the Q&A session. And Jan, over to you probably for some questions before we get some from the audience.
First of all, I'd like to thank you, Lubo, for the preparation and for a very engaging presentation when you mixed the world of banking and finance with the other industries. Because when we speak about the innovation in the banking, we need to admit that a lot of those things come from a different industry. And this is basically the one of the nature of the innovation that we steal from the other industries, from the other examples. When you just browse the library of those innovations, and not just those, Lubo, that you presented, because we both know that in Qorus we have a library of 8,000 innovations, right? So this is an extremely, a rich source of experience. That's not a book of theory. That's a library of experience, of real experience. So when you just browse over the years, do you see some good example of the banking innovation that was brought into the banking from different industry? What comes on your mind as an example?
Yeah, and I would say these are exactly the ecosystems where banks were thinking of, okay, what about I like using it because I'm also entrepreneur. What about to set up your business? And you don't need to do anything, but actually bank does it for you. And the bank got inspired by the fact that you have a lot of agencies. When you want to start up your business, you have a lot of entities. You need to register your company. You need to find an accountant. You do all the job. So why not to take this and bring it to your customer and do it for himself, and ease in his life, especially when you are a new startupper, even you don't understand what all you need to do. And this, for example, I liked very much. There, of course, different areas where, for example, for kids banking, which I like, piggy banks are interesting little products where, kids learn how to save the money. And the bank which already doesn't exist, and you which wouldn't be a case some years ago, and that's Credit Suisse, which already got acquired by UBS, introduced these piggy banks where, when you put the coin, you actually start the game. If you put, enough money, you could go to next level and play the game for the kid. Yeah. And for example, we know Netflix, when started this streaming business, they were the first, but then Disney came, others came, and their scenario B, okay, what to do, how we can increase the revenue streams or widen the revenue streams. They thought of, okay, let's go to the gamification. And similarly, Banco do Brasil was thinking about the same. Okay, they got to the platform of Roblox and offered this to customers to better understand how the young generation communicates, what language they speak. They are more into and closer to them. So just mention a couple of examples, which I believe might be the inspiration for the banks.
And this is exactly why we are here, to give a practical examples. One of the questions from the audience is about leading innovations from the Africa. So, Lubo, can you just browse in the memory of the
Yes.
African innovations? The one that really comes in my mind, and we presented it, was award-winning last year, also in Dubai, was from Standard Bank, and they spoke about the hyper-personalization. That was a winning bank in the category of the customer experience, and I'm 100% positive that they deserve that. So they created the program of the hyper personalization. So it means they just said goodbye to regular segmentation, and every and each customer of the bank is considered to be a one segment. So it's a lot of data behind. There's a data pool, data lake, and everything. So it was a great example from the African continent, and they operate and they spread out this model to 13 countries. So that really resonates with me even a year after. So what about the other example, Lubo, from Africa?
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Standard Bank. I mean, Standard Bank is the leading financial institution in Africa, operating in multiple countries. And I like another one, good you mentioned them, and this is called One Farm. One Farm is a platform for the farmers, especially small farmers who have obviously always issues with the distribution channels. So they put together, again, in partnership, obviously, with the company, and offered a marketplace. First of all, offer this food to the biggest food chains and available, but also something I wouldn't have thought of. You have a lot of food which unfortunately deteriorates over the time, and when it's already in the expiry, how this food could be distributed to the poor ones, and to the local communities who can have financial issues or financial problems. So this way, first of all, they help the farmers to grow. Secondly, to give impact to the local society in terms of the food which would in the end might ended up somewhere in trash.
Great. Let's continue with the questions from the audience. There is the one. Let's talk about the more examples about the using and the usage and the impact of the AI, where it improves the customer experience, Lubo. So before you answer this question, let me just add that we have a great research paper together with the Amazon Web Services that is downloadable on our platform, when we did a really an extremely important research about the AI in the customer experience. So when I see the question from the Muhammad Ilyas, please just follow me or follow our platform, and there is the paper that gives you not just the data, but another practical examples about it. Lubo, what about having Your example from the AI and the customer experience, you named a couple of those. So anything else?
Probably will we, because we already talked about the customer experience. There are a lot of good cases where banks gained a lot of efficiencies thanks to AI. But specifically, what I like very much in the KYC process. So know your customer. You know that it's more stricter and stricter to get to make it properly. So now AI and some of the banks really bring this data. You don't need to reuse it because they're available already, and makes the whole process of onboarding of a new customer much, much easier. And not that complicated, because you know it's a pain many times. And thanks to that, we have a lot of banks who can set up accounts in minutes, not anymore in hours or days like it was before. So I like what happened now coming to Asia. I like very much onboarding process of the Thai banks. So I would give it as a really good example for you, for example.
There is another, a very great and very unique question regarding the competition. So how can smaller community bank compete with the big players, especially in adapting the innovative technologies? This is really a good question, because in every market we have a combination of the fintechs, we have the regular incumbents, we call them the corporate banks, but also the ones that serve as a smaller community banks. In my opinion, it is a lot about what was mentioned in related to standard the hyper personalization. So the smaller group of customers you serve, the more deep needs of those customers you need to really catch and to really satisfy. This is one of the most differentiating factor that at the end will touch your margin. So it means you can do a more profitable business. So on the one side, you're the smaller bank in terms of number of the customers, maybe of the number of the revenue, but still your business will be very sound and very solid when you will be doing all those things. And we are back to a customer experience. So what is your opinion, Lubomir, experience from the market?
Yeah, the community banking, I think, is one of the things banks should look at more in detail. Again, an example from the West Coast in the US, it's called Bank Umpqua Bank, UMPQA Bank. They started as a small bank, and over the years, because they were really emphasizing the community aspect, they has grown to the really a important bank there. Why that so? Because they always put the customer at the forefront, and through different interesting things. First of all, they had, for example, screen with the community activities locally. Yeah, something I wouldn't have thought of. Yeah, at the bank branch, they had a special phone where you can call to the director. Very even-driven bank where you could organize different social events, even local events. So there are banks, and it's not only Umpqua Bank. I could name some of them where they make their local branch as a branch for meeting of their customers. Bank of Ireland did it, this bank branch or bench branch, where you can bring your young guys and they can learn coding, or your local community entrepreneurs to give a mentorship program how to run the business. Some of the banks even went to even a segmented approach when it comes to community branches, and some of them, they just set up the branch for youngsters, like Spanish bank Caixa with their digital brand Imagine. They set up Imagine Cafe, and this directly they target the young generation. So I believe this is something, thanks to the latest technology, as I mentioned, we can be more segmented and more community driven as a bank.
Lubo, when we talk about the transformation of the bank, the transformation goes hand in hand with customers, of course, with market situation and all those things. And as we talk, that we borrow something from the different industry. When we both take a look at the Starbucks, a few weeks ago, there was a bunch of the articles that the Starbucks is not the coffee, seller, but is a bank, since they have a $2 billion dollars in their loyalty cards. The same thing happens to airline industry, because a lot of those smaller companies that really operate on a very low margins, without having a very effective loyalty program, they would bankrupt. So it means that the essence of everything, it's called the business model, is also evolving. So coming to the end of our today's session, I believe there is a lot of questions. So don't dream, as we have the title of this presentation, but what's the plan of those institutions in terms of bettering their business models, about improving the architecture of the business models? What the data and experience say?
Definitely, it's something where we can see. I already mentioned that Apple is doing provide different financial services, from credit cards or credit business to life insurance or health insurance. And they really leveraging the fact that they have all this pool of customer data and are able to be much more bespoke, much more agile in terms of new services. And definitely this is the trend banks should look at as well. As you mentioned, Starbucks wouldn't have been there if they wouldn't have these loyalty programs. Airlines possibly as well. There are other companies. What banks need to be careful how they set up the loyalty programs, for example, because we saw a lot of good starts, but in the end didn't work that well. So partnerships are key in this case.
Well, we had also the question related to the insurance industry. So clarify that our research does not include the insurance, right?
Yes, these are purely banking trends. But what we do, because we have both editions for banking and insurance, every year we introduce also insurance trends. So obviously, if that would be an interest, we can hold a session on a purely insurance innovative ideas.
I like the question from the Tommy Hartono, who is asking us about the best practice, how a bank can measure the pace of innovation. So just to make an example of the two, I call them the KPI that are not very standard. The first is standard, it's called the CVL, so the customer lifetime value. So it means if your innovation is also reflecting the amount of spending of the customer. This is I call it as a mirror of the innovation. And the second thing, what is called the earned growth. Earned growth is the accounting value of your NPS. So it means what is the revenue that comes from the customers that become your customer based on the reference of your satisfied customer. And this is the answer on combination of innovation that is disguised in the customer experience program. Because the reason why the customers want to really catch up with your innovation is the value that you will deliver. So in our opinion at Qorus, we see that banks are not talking about innovation, as a separate topic. They always use the innovation as the core, very often very hidden, in applying those new either technological or other elements into practice. So these are the other things. There was also the question regarding the fraud detection. About 2 weeks ago, or maybe just a week ago, I managed also a webinar where we spoke specifically about the AI and the fraud detection. It was also another one of those 4 research papers that we at Qorus started to do from February 2024 in close cooperation with Amazon Web Services. So I really encourage that participant also to download the paper that specifically speaks about it, and we have also a recorded session. So just in terms of time, I will be more than happy just to say about those things. So we are coming slowly to the end, Lubo. It's 9 o'clock, and there was also the question whether the recording will be distributed among the participants. So we say yes, right?
Yes,
Also,
exactly.
the paper that you presented, another yes?
Yes.
Right. And also we have a number of the unanswered questions, and we will collect those questions, we'll put the answer, and we will add it into the email links that will be distributed right after. So what do you think, what is the concluding statement about the vision of the banking into the future? And now please comply with the verb and with the word dream of banking for the future.
Yeah, definitely. We should still keep dreaming. That's the first thing about new innovative ideas. So that's the first message. Second, don't be afraid to partner with others, because ecosystems and these marketplaces would be key for you to, first of all, be closer to your customer. Second, be with always key offering and understand the customer. And third, obviously to keep up with the others, important to survive in this fast-pacing world, to make sure your business will survive and thrive.